In a small village nestled behind the hills, Halloween this year felt eerier than ever. The night wind carried strange sounds, like faint whispers floating between the ancient trees. That night, Raka, a teenager who had just moved to the village with his family, decided to join the village's famous Halloween festivities. According to legend, a haunted forest appears only once a year, exactly on Halloween night. This forest is where the village holds a test of courage for the young, a challenge to test their bravery. Raka wasn't exactly a brave person, but that night he felt challenged. After all, he was still struggling with leaving his friends back in the city. Deep down, he wanted to prove something, not only to his new friends in the village, but also to himself. Holding a small lantern, he entered the forest along with a few other young villagers. Shortly after stepping into the forest, they had to split up and walk alone, as required by the rules. As he walked alone in the darkness, Raka began to feel fear creeping in. The sounds of cracking branches and rustling leaves fueled his imagination. Suddenly, he saw a shadow. As he approached it, he realized it was just branches forming a strange shape. He laughed quietly, realizing that sometimes our greatest fears are creations of our own minds. He started to understand that true courage is facing those fears with awareness and inner strength. Just as he started to calm down, he heard a noise from another direction, like someone in distress. Without thinking, Raka followed the sound and found a young child, lost and frightened. The child was crying, calling for his mother, and although Raka was still anxious, he knew what he needed to do. Speaking gently, he reassured the child that everything would be okay. Carefully, he held the child's hand and began walking towards the exit, even though he wasn't entirely sure of the direction himself.